Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with Invest for More. I'm standing outside a house flip, a country house flip that is almost done. And today we're doing a walkthrough of the house, but we're not really talking about the house. We're talking about contractors, how we hire contractors, how we keep track of them, how we keep our business running smoothly. So we're actually running pretty smoothly right now with 13, 14 flips going, quite a few rental property rehabs going, maintenance going. And we're gonna talk about how we do that, how we find people, how we keep track of them, how we keep them working well in this video. So of course, check out investformore.com for much more information on our flips, rentals, being an agent, all of that great stuff as well. And let's get started. So here's the house. And for this video, we're not quite done with it. We're almost done. We just did a blue tape walkthrough. I'm gonna walk through it and talk about contractors. So I'm not gonna talk about everything we did in this house. I might talk about a few things, but this isn't one of my full before videos after we've done everything. So we'll have one of those a little later. But you can see we've got the barn painted, the outside painted, so we're really close, but not quite all the way done. So we're talking about contractors. Always a favorite subject of mine. I've done a lot of videos, had a lot of discussions about contractors, how good or bad they are, problems, good times, bad times, but how do we manage our contractors? So first off, Nikki is my project manager, and she has been amazing helping us manage our contractors, find them, keep track of them, keeping track of expenses, all of that. So if it was just me doing all of that, I would be in trouble. And I did do all of that for a while. So I worked with my dad for many years. He flipped houses, he was an agent, and we kind of did that together. But we were doing, 2 to maybe 5 houses a year. We weren't doing a ton of flips. And over the years, I wanted to be more aggressive, buy more properties, and that's kind of why I bought him out and took over the business. And then we started doing more and more flips. So when my dad and I were doing it, we pretty much had 1 or 2 contractors we used all the time for everything, and it wasn't even a problem. We got really lucky, and then he had built some good relationships with some people. So that wasn't too difficult. But when I took over, we started doing more and more flips. Those guys who had used before stopped doing it. So kind of semi-retired. They're just tired of the grind. Being a contractor, working on houses is hard work, right? It takes a toll on your body, kind of like being a mechanic for cars. Like, it's not easy. It's not like sitting in a desk job and, looking at your computer, taking phone calls, driving around, things that we do. You're physically working, and it can be hard work. It can be a grind on the body. So contractors don't stick around forever. That's something else to realize. But when I started taking over for contractors for my dad, I was doing all that myself. I was managing people, finding contractors, visiting job sites, doing all kinds of stuff. And at the same time, I was an REO broker doing all kinds of other things. And honestly, I did not do a good job of it. I wasn't keeping track of people. I wasn't visiting job sites. I wasn't communicating well. And we had a lot of problems with projects because of that. So I ended up hiring a project manager to help with that. He didn't do well. Then I ended up hiring Nikki, who had already worked with me, to help with that side of it. And things got much, much better. But some of the things we do with our contractors is one, as I said, we're always looking for new people, right? So we have contractors, like on this house, is actually an employee who did most of the work on this house. And we have him full-time, and he can do paint, drywall, kitchen, baths, windows, all kinds of different stuff. But then we have a lot of subs we use too. We don't use a general contractor. We don't have one guy who oversees everything, hires everything, handles the whole project, because they're very expensive. They cost a lot of money, and I've had lots of problems working with general contractors or GCs as well. So that's kind of what Nikki's job is she's the GC. She's the one who handles managing everybody. And so as I was saying before, we have employees, and we have just contractors who are paid on a contract basis who work on the houses. And so we'll have someone who does windows, doors, kitchens, baths, and then we'll have subs, and sometimes we have a subcontractor who comes in and paints the houses. So while our hourly guy painted the inside of this, we had one of our subcontractors come out and paint the outside, and they painted the barn, and then did that side of the job. So we didn't have them do everything. We have a roofer come out who does the roofs, although I don't think we had to do a roof on this one. We have a plumber come out who comes out and does the plumbing work. We have an electrician who comes out and does the electrical work. An HVAC guy who comes out and does the heating, air conditioning, that side of it. We have a foundation guy, all types of different people who work in conjunction with the contractor. So we have found that the more subs we have, the more people helping our main contractors, the faster we can go. Because if we have our one contractor doing all the work, it takes a really long time and there can be a lot of problems. And I say a lot of problems because, the main contractor thinks they can do everything, they want to do everything, they want more work, extra money, but it always takes them longer than they think, and they might not do as good a job as the subs who specialize, right? So our subcontractor who just paints, that's pretty much all they do. They do help with some other stuff, but for the most part, they just paint. That's all they do. Naturally, they're probably pretty good painters because that's what they focus on. That's what they do. Same with the plumber, right? Our plumber is pretty much just a plumber, and he is an excellent plumber. So if we have him do a plumbing job, we almost always know it's going to be done right. It might be a little bit more expensive, but he'll do it right. He will do it fast, and we don't have to come back and fix things. Where if we have our contractors do plumbing who say they can plumb, we're probably going to come back and fix leaks because they aren't really plumbers. They say they can do everything, but that is not always the case. So we kind of have to work in conjunction with the contractor, the subs, to coordinate all that, and that is Nikki's job. She picks the paint colors, she picks the materials, handles Home Depot, paying for materials, all of that stuff. So that makes my life really easy. But most of you probably don't have a Nikki, so something else you have to work on and maybe do yourself. So for the main contractors, the guys who are doing most of the work on the houses, we are constantly looking for new people. So we have tons of work to give them. We have 13, 14 flips going right now. We have rental properties going right now. We have maintenance on rentals that we own, not just ones we're repairing. So there's a lot going on. Now, we can keep them busy, we can offer them work, which is a huge, huge bonus. But we're always looking for new people, always talking to new people, always keeping our ears and eyes open for new people who can work with us. And we're often trying out new people, multiple people every year to see how they do. And I've kind of talked about this before in some of our flips, but when we start out a new contractor, we start them with a small job first, something easy, remodel a bathroom, put in a floor, something real simple, see how they do, how long it takes them, how much they charge to give them a test. And we kind of build up from there more and more to see how they do. This barn was a mess when we bought it, so we'll have the before video link to it. But we had to fix the foundation, do a lot of work here. So it looks so much better now. Still a little leany, but so much better. So we are always looking for new people, trying them out, and then we're very honest and upfront with our contractors, right? They know we're looking for new people. They know we're trying out new people. They know they have to stay on their A game to keep working for us. And we have not been afraid to tell contractors, hey, you're too expensive, you're not working fast enough, things have to change if you want to keep working with us. So we're very honest with them, we're upfront with them, and we usually have a meeting every year with all our contractors. Sometimes we almost always buy them lunch, make it kind of like a little party, but then go over all our rules and things that we have for working for us. So I've made a printed out sheet that goes over, how it works to work for us, what we expect, how we pay contractors, how we can give them more work if they do a better job. It just goes over everything. When to contact Nikki, like Friday's her day off. Don't text her, call her. Don't go to Home Depot every Friday to buy materials because she's not going to be around. So things like that. Don't come into the office constantly every day to come talk to us because we're busy. We're doing other things. If we have 10 different contractors coming every day to come talk to us, that leaves us no time to do anything else. So we print all these things out. We give that printout to our contractors, and then we have meetings, get-togethers to reinforce those ideas as well. And the same goes for subs too. So we've used a lot of our subs for many years, but we are looking, for new subs all the time, new people. Sometimes people quit. We had a hardwood guy who was going to move away a couple of years ago, found another hardwood guy. amazing, great guy. Sometimes the electricians, are too busy. We've got to find someone else. So we're looking for new subs too. It's just kind of a constantly moving business. It's not like we've ever had it where everything is perfectly dialed in and there's nothing we can improve on. Right now, things are actually going very smoothly. Like I said, I think we have 13, 14 projects going right now, and 5 of them are done. We have like 4 more that are almost done. All the rest are being worked on. Things are going very smooth, but that could change very easily. But a lot of that is communication with the contractors and then talking to them, visiting the job sites all the time. So that's something else where we spend a whole lot of time going to job sites and visiting the contractors, talking to them. But we're out and about a lot too, looking at new deals, doing all kinds of different things. So visiting them, going to the job site, talking to them, and this might sound kind of mean, but we don't give them the freedom to make their own decisions very often. We don't let them pick paint. We don't let them pick fixtures. We don't let them make design choices. We don't let them decide, where a bedroom should go or what a wall should do. That's my job. That's Nikki's job. That's our job to tell them how it should be fixed. It's their job to fix the property. So as long as we're clear on that, it eliminates a lot of mistakes as well. So there is a lot to this business, right? Flipping houses, we're basically running a contracting company. Takes a lot of work. There's a lot that goes into it. So it's not like we just hire one contractor, hope he works out awesome, and use him for the rest of our lives. There's a lot of talking, hiring, reviewing, making sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. And we do have to fire contractors sometimes. There's some contractors we tried out in the last year who didn't work out well. We used them for one job. That was it. We're done. There's been other contractors we've used for years and worked out really well. And then all of a sudden they just fell off, I don't say the wagon, but they just stopped doing a good job. They got too expensive. They got too slow. They took on a bunch of other clients and they couldn't help us out anymore. We just couldn't use them anymore. And it's sad when you build relationships and work with people for many years, but you can't just keep using people if they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So all in all, it's the hardest part of the job. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of time, but flipping houses is not easy, right? There's a reason why not a whole lot of people actually end up flipping or end up doing, the volume of flips that we do. There's some other great people out there who do as much or more than we do. And I've talked to them, and a lot of them say the same thing. The hardest thing for them is always finding the work, finding the contractors, getting people to do everything for them. And some people like to use a GC, a contractor who handles everything. If you can find that person, great, amazing. If they're affordable, just realize if you're doing a high volume of properties, you probably should have a backup. Someone who can take over if something happens, God forbid someone gets sick or decides to retire, and also they leave you with a bunch of projects and you have no one to work on them. So just remember, it's good to have backup people who you can call, talk to get some more people to help you. And real quick, I've done a couple other videos on contractors that goes over a lot of this too in more detail, but finding them, we look all over. Referrals, other investors, Facebook, Craigslist, Angie's List, talking to title companies, talking to friends, family, all over. We find contractors and we go through a rigorous interview process. It is like we are hiring them for a job. We do an interview, we do a phone interview, email interview first. If they do well there, we take them into the office, do a full interview there. If they do well there, we take them to the property, get a bid, and see how that bid comes in. Then we start them with a small job. So we spend a lot of time, a lot of effort screening contractors too, because we've wasted a whole lot of time trying to get bids, meet people at job sites, they don't show up, never get bids. And so that's really cut down on our time spent chasing down new contractors by putting in this rigorous interview process. All right, so I think that's enough for today's video. Like I said, I have a number of other videos I'll link to that talks about contractors, and I have a huge article on investformore.com as well that goes over this too that I'll link to as well. All right, we'll have a video of this property once it's all done and staged here soon, and I'll actually talk about this property in that video as well. All right, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. We appreciate the likes, the comments, all that. Keep those coming. If you have any questions for me, let me know. Please leave them below. I try to get to as many as I can. I don't always get them, but just keep asking. Eventually, I'll probably see it and answer it. We'll have a video, like I said, of this house once it's all the way done, show you everything, when it's staged. So of course, subscribe to see those in the upcoming videos of our other flips, rentals, all of that great stuff as well. Thanks a lot. We'll be back soon.